How's it going, everybody? It feels like I haven't seen you in so long. I actually haven't done any readings in quite some time. Or I've done readings on the side, but no general readings. I was in a car accident last year that really kind of put me down for a while. I had to get surgery and all kinds of craziness, and so I've missed you guys, and I feel like I feel like, I haven't seen anybody for a very long time, and so I'm just super happy to be back in the swing of things. And with that in mind, I'm actually going to do things a little bit differently. I feel like, why not give you guys a whole well-rounded view of how the month's going to look. So the way I'm going to do things now is I'm going to give you just a very brief, understanding of the major things that are going on in the month. So the new moon, the full moon, and any kind of astrological events going on. And then I'm going to pull cards for love, health, and wealth. So you get a very well-rounded idea of the best things that you can do in a month for yourself to get the full benefit and to hopefully be able to use that energy and move forward. Hey, Scorpios. All right, let's take a look and see what messages came out for you guys for January. Alright, we're going to look at love first and see how things are going. And the messages that I've got for you guys so far coming out is, well, here's the thing. You might either have so much going on that it's really hard to divide your time for relationships, or you might be seeing so many people that it might be hard to keep them straight. Because we have retrograde going on, it's important to, keep a lot of that stuff in mind, but also to really take your time to look at everything, with enough attention to where you can make really sound choices and, keep things kind of on the up and up. Some emotional, issues from the past could possibly come up, but rather than, brushing them to the side or making them, intimidate you in any way, I would just address it and to kind of speak your truth, get it out there, get it, out of the way, and you'll find that you'll feel extremely liberated. You'll just feel like you're thinking clearly. You've got this weight off of your shoulder. So maybe an ex pops up from the past, rather than toying around with that or whatever, you just kind of, you handle it and be done, and whatever that means for you. That could be just, not even responding. That could be, addressing it, but keeping it in a category that, is just over here or whatever. But the point is, you're not giving your full attention to anything that's not going to serve your emotional, stability. And so just kind of keep that in mind. So if you need to take a step to the side and just really meditate and contemplate on which decision to really go for, that is being recommended this month. You are going to have a type of charisma about you, Scorpio, that's going to attract some attention. And so just be clear with, your intentions. That way you're not giving off, the wrong impression or anything like that, okay? I wanted to see kind of, suggestions on, how to move forward. So right now, nothing is set in stone. Nothing is 100%, and that's okay. And as long as you are giving things proper attention, then you're going in the right direction. But here's one message that came out. Try not to spend too much time focusing on, your material things. Make sure you're balancing the time that you're giving, say a person of love, a love interest, say. You can have a lot going on this month and be not giving that partner or that attention that is, needed or that is healthy in the relationship, and it could give off the wrong impression. And so just keep that in mind, where you might be really focused in on maybe some fun things that you had planned. You've got friend things going over here, you're busy with work, and that might be all really busy and going on this month. But just make sure you are setting aside enough time to where you can nurture the relationship properly, or even if that's yourself, that self-care. Make sure you're taking time enough for that self-care so that you can keep up the momentum that you've gained. You don't want to in anything, whether that's work or career or love. I mean, whether that's career or love or health, you want to make sure you're gaining that momentum. You know, whether you've started working out, continue to be working out. You started a relationship, continue to be consistent with the communication or with the attention. If you have started a new career or a new path, or you know you've caught someone's attention and an idea, pursue it and go move forward with it. That's the overall kind of message that I'm getting with that. Okay. Now, suggested action and some advice. Seasonal harvest. So, you know, you're planting the seeds, but they're, you know, Spirit's saying take it to the next step and really step outside of your comfort zone and just kind of go full forward. Maybe that's not your typical, you know, route, or maybe that's just a little bit uncomfortable because you're not really sure where that's going to go, but you are looking at a broader perspective. You are looking at things from a bigger picture standpoint and really going after it because you're bringing in that abundance. You're not trickling in little pieces of joy and happiness. You're really going at this from a much bigger perspective. And the retrograde allows you to show that enthusiasm and, you know, to go after those satisfactions that you desire and that you're manifesting into your life. And so this is just, you know, a suggested action to step out of your comfort zone and just, you know, see this all the way through. Okay. Okay. So with wealth here, personal issue reaches resolution. Surrender to the divine. Okay, so there's two pieces here. One of them is surrendering to the divine is a very important piece. But before we do that, we have to make sure that we are looking at the situation in an intelligent way, in a logical way. And so this month, before you sign contracts, which I really recommend not doing during retrograde, but you know, even if you're just discussing, you know, negotiating and things like that, don't move forward unless all pieces are in your favor. Not necessarily like everything goes your way, but like the most important pieces, you're not backing down on those types of things, okay? And I feel like you've got more opportunity to get more of what you want than you think. So, you know, go after it and get as much out of, you know, in your favor as possible. And then, you know, at that point, just kind of surrender to the divine and let things just process out, and don't try to control it, don't try to get in the way. You know, don't negotiate it to death. Just kind of throw out what it is you're looking for and then just let it happen. Okay, so I hope that resonates, because I saw several different aspects in that, and I don't want to give you too many suggestions on what actually that applies to, because then it kind of only, it just makes it to where it's limited to one group, and I don't want to do that. So if you want to see if it applies to your situation, feel free to ask, but I did just want to kind of, you know, give you the general message anyway. All right. And when it comes to overall meditation for clarity, oh, it's odd, that just came out of the wrong deck. A time for healing. And respect. You value everyone's unique perspective on the path. So this is kind of that rule of thumb, or kind of this telltale, you know, methodology of if everyone is going about this with, you know, the mentality of working together and gaining the highest level of satisfaction for each other, and everybody's on the same page about their intentions, and you know, everybody's on board with just collaborating together because everybody's got the same idea, the same, you know, relative goal in mind, then that's kind of the way you really need to, that needs to be, you know, your, the words are just not coming to me. It needs to be the part that kind of influences what decision that you make, okay? If everyone's in line with your ideas and your goals on this, then you know that's your team. If you feel like there's just this resistance and this, tension or this, potential for problems in the future, then that's your answer right there. So just take your time. Don't go all in. Just kind of put a foot in, test it out a little bit, maybe do some trial runs, and then, take the time to really feel this one out and weigh out your pros and cons, and then make a decision, okay? Yeah, so overall when it comes to work, that's kind of, and in general, that's kind of the route to take there, is just make sure you're not going all in, and you're respecting everybody's path here. Not everybody has to agree, but there are certain things that do need to go your way in this situation, or it won't work, and so just don't back down from that, was kind of the message there, okay? Okay, any other last minute advice for you guys? Time to release negativity. And so if, I said all that and you're like, yeah, but, that's where you need to go put all that aside. You need to just release that, and don't back down from your ultimate, level of worth. That you've worked very hard and you are in the process of attracting the right partner, and in that way, whether it's business or relationships. And so you don't want to settle for what you've agreed to yourself. You promised yourself this is what or it's going to be this, or that's not right, and you're going to keep going and keep moving forward until you find the right thing. And you're going to know. It's going to be just instantaneous, just like anything else in your life. When something's right, it fits, it makes sense, it works, it just flows. And that's the same way it's going to be. If you're questioning it, if your gut's just not sure, that's when you can pull a card to find out, or that's when you choose to listen to your higher self and just step away or do some meditating and really feel out what's the root of that feeling. And even if it's a yes, even if you're excited, also meditate. Make sure you're making the right decision, okay? All right, hope that helps. You guys are super, super strong, so just make sure, you're reminding yourself that you don't need anything that is less than what you ultimately want. Go big or go home kind of mentality, and you've got the ability, you got what it takes to make that happen. So just keep that in mind, all right? We're starting off the year with a super, super powerful and important type of new moon. It actually happened on the 2nd, and it's a really great time for a lot of ideas, a lot of stuff flowing in the mind, a lot of need for balance, a lot of need for grounding. So if you guys aren't doing, I'm going to shuffle while I talk here. If you guys aren't doing grounding, I would highly recommend doing, your 15 minutes of some type of meditation that you resonate to in the mornings. I can certainly put one in the box below just so that you can have, one if you don't have any in mind. But 15 minutes of an abundance meditation will not only get you grounded, but it'll get your head in the right space for the day. Even myself, I can't believe how many times I notice my teeth are grinding, or I just have so much energy, built up that I haven't called back. So, having a morning meditation just to kind of get your mind in the right space, and then in the evening, have another one. Even if it's 5 minutes, you guys, just to give yourself some space and some time to call back all the energy that you've dispersed throughout the day. Give yourself some time to really ground out that energy into those roots, into the ground, or whatever you resonate to, and get that white light energy going. White light energy from the top of your head, split it all the way down into a bubble around your body. Just giving yourself that moment to just kind of renew and refresh is about the best thing that you can do for yourself in any given day, especially if you are, out there all over the place talking to a lot of people. So that's where that was. So the new moon, it encourages us to think about old patterns and ways of structuring certain aspects of our lives. In 2021, we really continue to work on that, not devaluing ourselves, but really embracing our values. This particular new moon, typical new moons, you would want to initiate things, but this particular one, it encourages us to navigate this time more than initiate. So you're going to be thinking about how you're practicing your presence, how your awareness is, monitoring your emotions, and deciding really what stays or goes. That kind of pulls us into the full moon. So, we had a lot of things going on in 2021, and this particular full moon is reflecting, and this is going through the 17th is the full moon, just so you guys know, and it's in Cancer, so it can be a little finicky with the emotions, but it does reflect this month. It could bring up feelings and some emotional sensitivities. For others, it could be more irritability than anything. So if you're aware or you notice, your irritations or somebody else's, just pay more attention to maybe bringing a little bit of tenderness and some of that light touch to the situation, as opposed to, you know, fighting the grain or bringing any kind of further intensity into the mix. If you're really aware, you'll notice that there's kind of an ambitious pull towards your purpose, towards power, towards deeper desires, towards goals that you've set. And you can also add some, you know, just some of that gentleness to the load that you've got, 'cause sometimes it can be overwhelming, okay? Excuse me, sorry. And then the Mercury retrograde. Sorry to be the bearer of that one. That one is taking place on the 14th of January. It is going to be in Capricorn and Aquarius, which is interesting. It kind of makes, I'm a little curious on this one. I'm actually a Capricorn and an Aqua cusp baby, so I'm kind of curious on how this one's going to go. I don't know if I should be scared or excited, to be honest with you. But this one is going to let us revise the story that ended in December. So if you've noticed, there's actually kind of a similarity of this, you know, concept and these lessons and tools and things that we're being asked to do between all three of the new moon, the full moon, and the retrograde. So the story that ended in December, it's going to be an opportunity to continue to reflect on that. You're going to have, you know, this opportunity to just kind of reassess, you know, who and what you align with. And it is a slowdown. Remember, guys, it's a slowdown in communication, transportation, sometimes in technology. And so stay a step ahead if you can. If you are able to get things, you know, checked out or deal with things that maybe are some loose ends, as much as possible, just deal with known issues so they don't become bigger ones later. Again, a time to reframe. It's an opportunity to handle anything that you didn't really, maybe, if it wasn't taken care of, again, like loose ends, might be just be sitting on the back burner. Maybe you just need to look at something as a second look, or maybe you need to edit, you know, whatever's in the goal or whatever's in the plan. But the more open and the more optimistic you are to that, the more confident you're going to have going into 2022. And so I would highly recommend just giving yourself a moment to ask yourself, are you holding yourself back in any way, or are you opening up, you know, to a whole new ball game, which is kind of the goal that you set. I hope that helps. I hope you have a fantastic month. I am so happy to be back. Feel free to reach out if you're interested in a reading, or if you're interested in a Reiki healing, whatever I can do for you. I have all that information down below, and there's a little list right here as far as some of the things that I offer. So much love. I will talk to you next month. Bye, guys.